Welcome back to the We Are City channel for FL 25 Master League into Season 2, and we're at the halfway point now where we do a little halfway review, and this will be a very significant episode for the future of this series. But first we have to look at where we are currently in the halfway point of this season. So mid-season sort of review, mid-season situation. We're currently quite a way off the top, but we are back in second place on 45 points, level on points with Arsenal. The Liverpool do lead the title race on 52. They're running away with it a little bit, aren't they? We're actually ahead of them on goal difference, which could prove significant if we can get sort of in and around them. But we have lost quite a few games. I mean, 6 defeats, 15 goals conceded, one of the best record scoring. And actually, we've scored more goals than Liverpool, one of the best goal-scoring teams as well. We've started to really pick up. But those points that we dropped earlier in the season, when we went to that really rocky patch, have cost us massively. We do play Liverpool next. That will be in the next episode. And that could be a massive game, because that might decide who is going to go on and win the Premier League title. I think if Liverpool win that, they beat us. Title's theirs. I think if we win that, the pressure is on Arne Slot's side. Man United down in 10th, which is nice to see. Down at the bottom is Burnley, Leeds, who look like they're gone really. It's a battle between Leicester, Palace, West Ham, Watford, Sheffield and Brighton. Surprisingly, Emery's Aston Villa are all the way down there as well. They're having a particularly poor season. Chelsea and Forest fight with those guys for the top 4 alongside maybe Fulham as well. That's the top goal scorers in the competition. Erling Haaland is top with 17 so far. Marmoush has 8. Salah's Liverpool still their top goal scorer with 13. Chris Wood with 12. Saka and Odegaard up there for Arsenal. Yeah, some good goal scorers in the Premier League this season. And assists-wise, top is Rodri with 8. Wow, Foden's got 5 as well, one of our more standout players. Fernandes with 7. Let's see if we can win both those by the end of the season. And as for the FA Cup, we obviously know the standings in the FA Cup. We're out. We were knocked out, weren't we? Very early on by Cardiff City. A 3-1 defeat to them. They've gone all the way through, have they? No, they're out. It's Leicester City who've gone all the way through to now what is the quarter-finals. So going through is Leicester, Villa, Forest, West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United and Everton as well into the FA Cup later stages. Let's also have a look at, of course, the Champions League, how the Champions League is looking, because we have qualified, and this time, thanks to quite a reasonably good campaign in the Champions League phase, we've qualified automatically. So this is how the 36 teams finished in the UEFA Champions League table. As you can see, Manchester City, we finished in 6th place. 8 games we played, of course, plus 8 goal difference and 17 points means a 6th place finish, and finally some automatic qualification. Last year we didn't have it, the year before we didn't, but this time we finally do make it. We automatically go through alongside Real Madrid, Liverpool, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, AC Milan and also Arsenal as well. We are the 8 sides automatically qualified. Going out is Panathinaikos, Standard Liège, Dynamo Kiev, Besiktas, Mechelen, Club Brugge, Ferencváros, also Copenhagen, Bodo Glimt, Slavia Praha, Crvena Zvezda and Arias as well. They are all out of this competition. And then it's to look at the teams that we could face in the next round, because we will face one of the teams who fight off against each other. So it's PSG, Napoli, Ajax, Inter, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Feyenoord, Galatasaray. Those 8 will face off against, and I don't exactly know the draw, Athletic Club, Bayer Leverkusen, Zenit St. Petersburg, Celtic Girona, Benfica Sporting and Shakhtar Donetsk. Very surprised actually Paris Saint-Germain haven't made it to automatic qualification. So those teams will face off against each other, and it will be from there decide who we face in the latter stages of the Champions League. We could face a side that are in the top 8, I think, or maybe not. I'm not quite sure how it works. The game doesn't always simulate it quite right, I think, because it is a bit of a new format. So we could face off against one of the sides in the top 8. We could face off against one of the sides that have just qualified as well. We'll have to see. I'm not exactly sure who I'd like to face. Think of all those teams. I'd like to face maybe Benfica, Sporting, Zenit, Celtic, Lazio. But I think we'll probably get someone like maybe Milan or Inter that we've already faced, maybe even Paris Saint-Germain, which would be catastrophic, really. Maybe even Real Madrid. I'm not quite sure, but we're looking good in the Champions League. I want to go all the way this season. So through into the latter stages of the Champions League, we're doing really well in that competition. We're doing well in the Premier League, considering the rocky phase we've had. We're sort of building our way back up, and these are the overall stats of the team so far. We can't actually organise it by appearances, which is a shame. Because we've got a lot of players that haven't made any appearances or not made many at all. But this is the stats of the way they're looking. So Donnarumma has played 26 games so far for us this season. at the halfway point. Kasanova's played 24, Baleva's played 17, 1 assist. Vanderson 22, no goals but 2 assists. Ryan Nuri's played 22, no goals but 3 assists. Rodri 21 games, no goals, 8 assists that all come in the Premier League games. Rangers has got 7 goals so far, no assists in 22 games. Phil Foden 23 games, 3 goals and 5 assists. Marmoush probably one of our better performers, 8 goals and 3 assists in 22 games, and the same goes to Rodrigo, 7 goals and 1 assist in 23 appearances. Haaland's played the most games so far at the halfway point, 28 games, 19 goals and 3 assists. Trafford only 6 games, Diaz 11, Barr only 6, Vardiel 24, 1 goal, no assists. Rico Lewis 9 games, no goals, 2 assists. O'Reilly 10 games, more than Rico Lewis, 2 goals and 1 assist. He's actually been okay. Gibbs White's played 21, no goals. He should have had about 10 goals really in that chance he's had in games. 1 assist. Divine Mukasa 5 games, no goals, no assists. Ryan Shirky 4 assists and 1 goal in 22, not so impressive. Echeverri's played 8. Oscar Bobb's played 15, 3 goals and 1 assist. Jerry Doku's played 17, 3 goals and 3 assists. And then the rest of the players really barring. Nico's played 9 games, no goals, 2 assists. Jeremy Monga, 3 games, 1 goal, no assists. The rest of sort of Naipan, Mabama, Lakal, Samuel, Mafuni, Jack Wint and Betley all played 1 game each. They're looking to be loaned out, a few of those. I mean, obviously, they need game time and they're not getting it at Manchester City. But the halfway records, I think, looking at those, you can say our better players are probably Marmoush, Erling Haaland, Rodrigo, Reinders and probably Rodri from what you can see. We've got quite a few players out on loan, so I just wanted to see how they are developing so far. Ryan McAdoo is on loan at Toulouse. He's 18 years of age now, 70 rated. He's developing on that right-hand side. We have got other players out on loan as well. Regan Heskey, who's playing at Lyon. He's 67 rated, not quite developing at the level that we've seen McAdoo develop at. Christy McFarlane had a really good pre-season, something that really did impress Pep Guardiola. He is impressing at Standard Liège as well, developing. Only 19 years of age, but he's pushing towards that mark. And I think come the end of the season, we could see these players much higher overall in terms of their development, and of course to see how they are for next season. Sangare on loan at Getafe. He's having a decent season for them in La Liga, but I don't think he's going to be a player that we see making it at Manchester City, unfortunately. We also have some other players, I mean, there's a lot of youth players here as well in this side on the loan list and so on. Mark Aritho, who's playing at Freiburg, 20 years of age, a striker, he's impressing as well. Maybe he's got a chance at City. Again, another player that impressed in pre-season, as did Vita Heis, who's on loan at West Ham United, now 78 rated. At 20 years of age, he's getting to the point where you're thinking him and Aritho maybe are ready to have some sort of first-team role at Manchester City. Both have been really good. I mean, Vita Heis is very, very highly rated at Manchester City. We've got Max Lane as well. He is at Leicester City on loan, but I think maybe sold for profit is in his future. And the same goes for Jamai Simpson-Pouze, who I don't think is quite ready for that first team action at Manchester City. He's been playing at Wolves in the Championship, who were relegated, and he's having a good season for them. I don't think we've got any more players out on loan. These are all our sort of transfer listed players. But yeah, I think the most impressive loan players at the moment, from looking at what we've got, Vita Heis and Mark Aritho, looking to make moves to that Manchester City first team next season. And the biggest news from today's episode will be this, that Pep Guardiola has announced at the halfway point of the season, this is the end of his Manchester City managerial career. Pep Guardiola is going to be leaving Manchester City. He's enjoyed his time here at the club. Over 10 years as Manchester City manager, a very successful period. This is the last instalment of his time at Manchester City. The intention is to try and win the Premier League, to try and win the Champions League once again. But if it doesn't happen, he's give it his all. 1 Champions League and how many Premier League titles in 11 years is impressive enough. But we are going to try and do everything to make sure we do at least win the Champions League this season. No treble, of course, which is also a pipe dream. Impossible to ever do again. But it does mean Manchester City are going to be put in a position come the end of the season where we're looking for a new manager. We need to discuss situations and pre-plan the ideas for next season, because if we get a new manager, things could change massively. City have got decided they bring in a young and up-and-coming manager, someone who isn't proven, a proven winner already who's won trophies, someone who has the same style of football, someone who has a different style of football. Well, I have made a decision, an executive decision. Manchester City needs someone to come in and stable the ship. We know after a manager like Pep Guardiola leaves a football club, the drop-off could be humongous. We saw what happened to Arsenal after Wenger. We saw what happened to Manchester United after Alex Ferguson. We saw what happened to other teams as well around the world. After they lose that top manager who's been there, who's really been the heart and soul of the club, the drop-off is absolutely massive. So our intention is to bring him someone to stable the ship, someone to keep us at that high level before bringing a younger manager in the future. Maybe for 2-3 seasons this stable manager will come in. That means an experienced manager, a manager who's won things, a proven winner, and someone who is up there around the realms and level already of a Pep Guardiola. We've got 5 managers on our list to discuss in today's episode. 5 possible replacements of Pep Guardiola. You'll find out who he's picked come the end of the season. 5 managers with different styles, different ideas, also the transfer targets they could look to bring into this Manchester City side. That is why today's episode is so exciting. Let's find out the 5 options on the Manchester City board shortlist for Season 3 to decide who will be the new Manchester City manager, the successor to Pep Guardiola, the man who can stable the City ship. Some options to replace Pep Guardiola, kicking things off with Carlo Ancelotti, former Real Madrid, Bayern Munich manager, Paris Saint-Germain manager. He's done it at the top level. Current Brazil manager, we are looking at him maybe to come in and manage Manchester City. He's a player that I think will manager will steady the ship. He knows how to use the players that are at his hands and the players that he can use then to play a different style depending on what he's got. He gives his player a lot of freedom, and I feel like he would be the sort of manager that actually makes a lot of sense to bring in and replace Pep Guardiola. Defensive tactics as well. Defensively, he knows how to get his team to play. He's a proven winner. And I think he'd get the best out of the players already in this City side that we've got. Now, we do let all these managers name sort of 4 players that you think they should be looking to sign. He's named former Everton manager Branthwaite, who he's been impressed with when watching Branthwaite. He could be an option for him to bring in. Just sort of 4 players they quite like the look of. Andrea Cambiasso was Ancelotti's other named player that he would like to bring in, maybe a left back, right back, wing back role. Sandro Tonali, who would be a very difficult signing from Newcastle, but he's one that he does like the look of as well. And of course, one player that he thinks from his former club will be amazing for Manchester City in whatever role we could bring him in, that would be Federico Valverde. The Uruguayan would be amazing for Manchester City. So they're the 4 players Ancelotti would like. Would he fit City's style? I think so. He's very adaptive in his way that he wants his side to play. So he's option number 1 for that. And they're the 4 players he likes the look of. Option number 2 would be Aston Villa's Unai Emery. He's been doing really well at Aston Villa, however, in this save, they're not doing very well at all. They're down in the relegation zone. I think tactically, he could adapt his style enough to fit sort of the City players we've got. I think he's another manager that would get the best out of these City players, playing a sort of balanced game between defence and attack. I think City be a little more defensively, maybe, play long balls a little bit more often, but still play a high line like Unai Emery likes to do. He's failed at the top level before, which is my worry. It didn't quite work out for him, did it, at Paris Saint-Germain. And 4 players he likes to look of are Samuel Ricci of Milan, a player that is a very tidy midfielder. He thinks he could be a good addition to that City midfield, which already, however, feels quite stacked. Also, he's got options in there like former City man Morgan Rogers. He'd like to bring him back as a homegrown player, a City player in the youth system, and he's been really good for Unai Emery at Aston Villa. Maybe it cost around 70 million. He'd like to reunite with John Duran as a possibility as well, as he looks to bolster the forward line with Erling Haaland, Marmoush and Rodrigo in there as well in that City team. Now, the final player Unai Emery would look to maybe target is someone like Ohian Sanket, someone who's a sort of a goal-scoring midfielder. That sort of Phil Foden role. Ryan Shaqiri is more creative, and that would be an interesting choice, wouldn't it, for Unai Emery's side? Some interesting targets there. Option number 3 for manager Luis Enrique. This is the manager that makes the most sense in terms of stylistically fitting up to the City side. The way he wants to play football, the way he has an idea of football works well. He sort of didn't directly take over from Pep Guardiola, but once he eventually did take over Barcelona, he took them back to the greats that they were under Pep Guardiola, and that makes sense. They've got a good relationship together, they understand each other. He's an amazing manager. I mean, he's done so well at Paris Saint-Germain, he's done it at Barcelona, he's done it for Spain as well. So he could be a really good option for this City side, could Luis Enrique. 4 players that he could look to target in the side are Pablo Gavi of Barcelona, a player that he loved playing for the Spanish national team, probably one of his favourite players. He said he plays street football, could we pry away from Barcelona? He's had some injury issues, that could be a possibility. Vitinha to bring him from his former side. I mean, a lot of these managers are looking at midfielders now. He's stacked the midfield areas, but maybe they're not happy. I mean, could we see the end of Rodri at Manchester City? Under Luis Enrique, you'd expect Rodri to play maybe more as a centre-back in this team. Michael Olise is a player that he's really impressed with. He thinks that he'd be amazing off that right side for City, where Oscar Bob has been playing throughout this season, and make that his role his own. Michael Olise, I mean, unbelievable footballer, unbelievable player. He's a player that Luis Enrique likes. And finally, Achraf Hakimi, a fullback. Now, we do have Van der Sar, but it's maybe an area that Luis Enrique feels his side can impress and improve upon with the likes of Achraf Hakimi. Maybe a player more suited to his style, because Luis Enrique, he's very, very set with his style. He's not adaptive like Emery or like Carlo Ancelotti. They play the way he wants them to play. Manager number 4 is Diego Simeone. This would be a stark difference to the City side we currently have. This would be full tilt in completely the opposite direction. Now, I think he'd get the best out of a lot of players in this side. I think there is a real possibility for this City side and the personnel we do have to play counter-attacking football. He likes to play 3-2-2-3, it says there. It's more a sort of back 4, 2 up top, 3 midfield. He can play a 4-2-2 as well, which he has played for a long time at Atleti. He's adapting this time there. You know, the likes of Donnarumma would work really well as a goalkeeper under him. I mean, Ruben Diaz would do well at the back. A more defensive-minded defender, more than getting on the ball and making things happen. So it's an option. It would be very counter-attacking, but it would be, like I said, a very stark difference for City. In terms of, like, targets, he's looking at sort of bringing in Pablo Barrios, who is a former Atleti player, already plays for his club under him. He would like to bring him with him to Manchester, which makes total sense. A young midfielder, one who already knows his ideas. Other options include Bruno Guimaraes, very aggressive players. Diego Simeone will look to bring in aggressive players with lots of fight and determination. That's the sort of football he does play. Guimaraes would fit that in that midfield absolutely perfectly well for the City side that is going to undergo changes. Julian Alvarez is an option as well. Former City man, of course. He says, bring him with us, bring him back, let him and Haaland have a strike partnership, which would be absolutely fantastic. And then finally, an option for him would be someone like a Christian Romero, an experienced defender to come in and, again, bring that aggression. Just a player that he's liked for a long time. He's wanted at Atleti, but has stayed at Spurs. Might be difficult to deal with Spurs, but a player he does like. And the final option is someone who also brings that sort of big difference in terms of counter-attacking football, but I do feel has that sort of out from the back playing style. I mean, he's got the best out of Bastione, who played for him in that role. I mean, playing a back 5 with 3 midfield and 2 up top is something we haven't really seen work too much in the Premier League. And Antonio Conte did it with Chelsea, won one season, the next he sort of give it up. Do City have the personnel for wing-backs? Well, I think Van der Sar and I knew he could play as wing-backs. I mean, he's played also Carlos Augusto as a centre-back and a wing-back. That's called that Joško Gvardiol role. 3 midfielders and 2 up top. It's different. We've got a lot of wide players. Does that mean moving wide players on? Does it really get the best out of the squad we've currently got if we brought in Simeone Inzaghi, who is at Al Hilal at the moment? Well, options include Kevin Lamonaco. He sees him as a really, really highly technically gifted centre-back, someone that's been on our list before. He says he would like to bring him in and test his quality in the Premier League. He sees very much similarities between him and the likes of Bastione and De Vrij. A player he's liked for many years in the Serie A is Rafa Leao. Could he be an option if we had Inzaghi in Manchester City? Although getting a bit older, again a wider player, but he'd like to play in more central areas. And then you do also have someone like Bastione, a former Inter player. Would he want to bring him a former player of his own? I mean, the best left-side centre-back in the world alongside Gvardiol. Where do him and Gvardiol fit into the team? Does Gvardiol go to a wing-back, which he does like the idea of playing centre-backs at wing-back, depending on how defensive he's going to be. And, of course, the best right wing-back for him would be Denzel Dumfries, an older player, an experienced player, but someone who knows his ideas straight away. Well, that ends today's episode. Those are the 5 options for future Manchester City manager in this series. An experienced manager who knows it all, with Pep Guardiola announcing he will be leaving come the end of the season. Thank you for watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. The next episode starts with a massive top of the table clash against Liverpool. Win that, we're back in the title race. Lose that, it's all over. We'll see you guys next time.